So what does Skeleton's order for dinner? Spare ribs. Hi guys, welcome back to Creatures, Caverns, and Crafting. Today we're going to continue with our dollar store finds. Here I have two play sets that I picked up. These are the Action Force pocket play sets. This is a police set, I believe, and this is the military set. We'll open them up and see what we can do with them today. And here we have our set out of the package. Go ahead and take a look at some of the sculpts. First of all, we have a breacher here. Pretty good quality. I did notice he has an eye fact. Really good touch there. And of course another breacher. And a third breacher. These guys are really the bane of all doors, I guess. We do have another model in the kneeling position. Pretty good quality. We have the team leader here. I like the detail on him, but he is kind of flat. We did get a tank. This is pretty good details on this. I think I'm going to paint this up and use it for a wasteland craft, maybe a burned out tank maybe. And we do have some bunkers and some flag holders here. I did want to do a comparison. This is a figure by the Core playset. Much better quality, but does cost a little bit more than what I found at the dollar store. Here's the playset. This is a guy with a nightstick and a baton. I guess he's going to town on some hand-to-hand. We do have another police officer here. They did kind of make this guy a little larger than the others. I do like the sculpt on this guy. He is a little flat, but not bad. This guy looks pretty good. Again, we have two more of the nightstick baton officers. And perhaps my favorite, a K9 unit. I did get a message in the comments on my last video about this guy, and I had to go out and get him. We do have a helicopter. That would probably be the scale for Gaslands maybe. And we did get some signs. Probably could weather these. I don't know. Or I could just print off my own and put them on there. We'll keep them for later. And we do have a boat. Definitely use that in another craft. So we're going to go ahead and give these guys a nice warm bath using some Dawn detergent. That's just going to get rid of any unlocking agent left over from the molding process. Once we've allowed them to dry, we'll go ahead and move on to removing the mold lines. To do this, I'm just going to use a utility knife. Now you can use some like rubber cement to melt that off. When you're doing this, don't get caught up too much with it. Remember, these are very cheap figures. The whole objective is to have a playset quick and easy. And once we've removed it and got it to the point where we like it, we'll go ahead and give these guys a nice gray prime. Next, we're going to move on to painting some base colors. Here I'm just using some blues, some whites, some grays, and blacks. Probably do the other guys in more of a swap pattern and using some greens. We're going to keep this very simple. I'm going to apply some Quick Shade by Army Painter, and this is the Strong Tone. I've done this with previous projects. We're just going to wipe off the excess and allow this to dry for about 12 hours. So while we're waiting for things to dry, I'm going to take these wooden crafting discs. I got a pack of these from Hobby Lobby for 50 cents. They were on the clearance rack. And I'm also going to print out some sci-fi tile images. I just did a Google search and printed these out. What we're going to do is just glue these onto the disc. But before we do that, we're going to trace them out. And then we'll just cut them, use a little bit of glue, and stick them on like so. Now, we will trim this up using some black paint. And if you need to, you can also reapply the glue. If you have some excess hanging over, you just take a pair of scissors and cut around them. And these make very cheap and effective bases. We're going to take some Tester Dull Coat and spray the models just to get rid of the gloss that's left over from the army painter. Remember, we want to allow the army painter to dry overnight for about 12 hours. Once we're done, we'll get something that looks like this, and at this point we can start adding our details. We want to go in and start picking out the eyes, maybe go over with some highlights. We're just going to use the same colors we used before. Just remember, we're going to add those colors where the light would hit them. So maybe on the helmets, on the shoulders of the shirts, just kind of blend it in, make it look better. I'm going to take a utility knife and I'm going to cut the plastic base off of the miniature. I'm going to use a little bit of super glue to fasten them onto the base that we've made. Now, you can pin the figure in if you want to. I don't really suggest this because I'm not exactly sure how much the wood disc will handle. I've never had any trouble using super glue. You might even use like some E6000 if you're really concerned about the bonding, but you should be fine with that. Next, I'm going to take some polyacrylic Minwax. This is water-based, so it's very easy to clean up. And what we're going to do is just start putting this onto our figure. We're going to use a brush to apply this. Just put it on like so. And don't be concerned if you get this on the base. We actually want this on the base because the base is paper. This is just going to add an extra level of protection. Just put it on there. We do want to be conscious of pooling, so if you get a lot of it in a certain area, just take the excess off, put it on the napkin. For our last step, we're going to apply the Tetradoll coat. This is going to get rid of the shiny gloss that's left over from the polyacrylic. Let's take a look at it on the table now. Final thoughts for this project. Often we get caught up in purchasing extremely expensive miniatures for our game table, and I really like doing that. I'm guilty of it myself. I love to impress my friends. However, sometimes you just want a quick generic security team for like maybe a game of Shadowrun. These would be perfect for a one-shot campaign of Cyberpunk, or if you were doing an introductory game at a gaming con, something that you didn't want to spend a lot of money in. I think both sets were about $2.20. You will need to invest in the sealants. That's probably going to be essential so you don't rub the paint off. These are probably in the same line of the dollar store skeletons, so you could get a mixed bag. Overall though, for the investment, I thought these come out looking really well. As always, I'll leave you guys with a nice video at the end. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into my channel. I know this was a bit different than our normal broadcast, but I wanted to do a tutorial for someone that might be just getting into crafting, so thanks for sticking through it. I hope that you're finding these videos entertaining. If so, maybe think about leaving me that thumbs up button or subscribing, following, I don't know. It's up to you. Anyways guys, love your comments, keep them coming, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe.